the doghouse. Every mechanic's the real junk drawer, you know, like it ends up just being a big collection bin for your last job, you know, you're in a hurry and you put your shit in there and you go. I try to keep it organized. It looks like a mess to you guys, you know, to the untrained eye. Yeah, but yeah, I mean, there's things like this. This is junk, but it's junk from my last job. It's parts from the last job, let's say, you know, and I typically don't throw it out right away. I leave it for a little bit, just in case, you know, you never know if whatever, I don't know. I keep it for no reason, I guess, but I just keep it because that's how I am, you know. So I'll throw that out maybe next year or maybe next month. I don't know. Whenever I get sick of looking at it and whenever I'm confident that the repair that I did and everything's all done and I won't hear back from them, because, you know, you never know. It's nice to keep a part in case a part was faulty or something like that, or you want to, I don't know, compare something, or I don't know, just in general, right? Like, yeah, compare failures. That's kind of, you know, if you have a part that keeps failing the same way, you know, and you got the old one, you can compare the old one and the new one, and oh, it's failed the same way. Okay, well, what else are we missing here? You know, stuff like that. Chains, I got little chains, medium chains, and the big one. I think that one's rated to, what is that? Like 20 something, 27,000, 20,000, yeah, 26,000 pounds that chain's rated to. So I used that one recently to pull a counterweight off on a machine. I have to have a big one, you know, like the truck itself won't lift it. So the chain that big, I mean, I should probably don't even need to keep it on the truck really, but like I said, like it just sit in my garage and it's better just to kind of keep it on the truck for now. For the most part, the only chains that I use with that crane is this guy and this, you know, because this is a nice big 4-leg bridle. But it's only a 5,000 pound crane, so you don't really need 26,000 pound chains with a 5,000 pound crane. Usually I use an excavator or another bigger machine or bigger crane with that big chain. Yeah, that's the only time I really use that. I got my Steppy boy there. Steppy boy. A structure consisting of a series of bars or steps between two upright lengths of wood, metal, or rope, used for climbing up or down something. My kneelie pad saves my knees, saves your knees, you know, hopping in and out of machines too. That's something I was always told, don't jump off machines. That's a good thing to remember, you know. Yeah, they're not, you know, they got steps on them for a reason, they got handles on them for a reason. And if they don't, you got, like we carry ladders, I carry another longer ladder there, I carry this, like, there's no sense in, you know, rushing up and down and jumping off a machine. I actually wrecked my ankle a while back, jumping off a machine, being an idiot. I jumped off it and I kind of twisted my ankle and I got to lay in the slush for like 20 minutes while I, you know, recovered and dragged myself to my service truck and drove home with one foot. You know, and that kind of stuff sucks. It was totally preventable by, you know, keeping a ladder on board, that kind of stuff. You know, or just taking the 2 seconds to put your ladder out, right? So, yeah, but you know what, you're young and dumb and all that stuff, and you do, you know, you do dumb things. So I like to think I learned from all those mistakes. I'd rather learn from other people's mistakes. That's a, you know, a big thing, right? So yeah, big shackles, snow chains, my press. I joke because it's not actually a press, but it's a swing press. So I don't know if you've heard that term before. That's a heavy duty mechanics term. This is the swing press, my 20-pound swing press. And I use that for driving pins out, track pins, that kind of stuff. I got my pin driver. I got another pin driver. This one's actually kind of cool. I'll show you why. If I can get it out of here without doming myself, but it's really heavy, so maybe just bring the camera around it. We'll just get it out and we'll cut the bolt out. Okay, yeah, this is another pin driver. It's not exactly a pin driver, it's an old piece of like a recoil spring bolt or retainer. So there was a big nut on there that hold the big recoil spring inside a track assembly. But yeah, no, you hook this up to your crane, you put one of those straps down, and then you got a a real swing press. So you can hit pretty hard with something like that. So it's a cool setup. If you come across a big chunk of steel like that, keep it, throw it on your truck, and when you want to drive some stuff out real hard and not hurt your back or throw yourself out with the 20-pound sledge, you can throw this on there and just kind of swing it. And it's, I don't know, it's a cool trick. The old guy showed me that. Old guy showed me a lot of cool stuff like that. It's, you know, it's a good way to pick up, you know, good stuff in the trade. Just kind of glean things off old dudes, because they really know a lot of stuff. They've been doing it a long time. So yeah, no, that's kind of a cool piece of tooling that you don't see often. You won't see that kind of stuff a lot of times in the dealership, because they ban a lot of these homemade tools you're not allowed to use. Some places don't even let you use steel hammers. You know, that's a whole other thing though. But yeah, no, that's just something, you know, that's why the truck's so full, man. You keep this kind of stuff on you, because you never know when you might need something like that, right? So, and the length is nice too. So even if you got, you know, like a long pin you're driving out or something, you can stick that in there to get some more extension and use your swing press for that. So come-alongs, stuff like that. Fire extinguisher. I always got to carry a fire extinguisher. I actually usually have 2 on board. I think I just got the 1 right now. I like to carry 1 in the cab. I honestly mostly use them for other people. Every time I've actually used my fire extinguisher, it was on the side of the highway for somebody else. I've never needed to use it really myself. So I'll be like, you know what? It's, like I say, it's better to have it and not need it. So you always keep it charged up, always keep it up to date. That's you know, some sites will check you for that. Yeah, for fire suppression too, there's a piss tank up there, or I don't know the real name for it, but it's just a backpack that's full of water with a little squirty boy on it. And I mean, it's nice for fire suppression if you're doing some welding on somewhere that, you know, like I don't know, like on a buncher or something that's covered in wood chips and sawdust and, you know, debris and that really flammable shit that's usually all soaked in oil too. So, you know, it's nice to have something like that. The last time I actually used it, I was doing a pivot block bearing on a conveyor, and it was full of like hog fuel, so like pretty flammable stuff. And I honestly just had the guy spraying me down while I was using it, because I didn't want to catch myself on fire, you know, while I was torching. But you know, it's always good. You have to have all your safety stuff, you know. Don't want to light yourself on fire. So I think Sean said that too in his video. That's a big thing. You don't want to be on fire, man. Safety's huge. Here, let's do this. You can see how much of a mess the doghouse ends up being. Just pails of oil and like batteries and stuff that you don't want to keep in your cabinets. I got my purge tank, or my air tank, or whatever you want to call it, for the air compressor system on the truck. The truck has a VMAC onboard air system. It's like 70 CFM, and that just goes into that tank, and then it's plumbed down into that reel that we saw in the back corner. The flag, you're asking about the flag, it's just a buggy whip, they call it, or a buggy whip. It's just for a lot of mine sites and, well, just a lot of sites, pipeline, whatever you're on. A lot of these sites require beacons and flags, especially in pickups, and this is considered a pickup still, or a truck, or whatever you want to call it, small vehicle, because equipment, your visibility is limited sometimes. You know, a lot of equipment might be taller, whatever the reason is. You go on these sites and you just, I'll just do it for you. I'll put it down after, but I'll just show you. You just whip the flag up, you throw her straight up, and then you're super safe now, super safe. But like I said, safety's paramount, man. It's a dangerous industry. It can be. So it's all the little things, you know, preventative stuff. Like you look at my truck and how much stuff is there just to, you know, keep me safe and keep things in check. You know, the fire extinguisher, the piss tank, my beacon, my flag, my step, my kneeling pad, that kind of stuff, my PPE that you don't see, like my lid and my glasses and all that. I keep a ton of glasses on the truck because I'm always going through safety glasses, because a lot of these sites require that. They want you to have full PPE on at all times, and you know, whatever, that's fine by me. I'm getting paid to be safe, man. That's yeah, getting paid to come home at the end of the day. So that's yeah, like I said, like safety's paramount, you know, with everything that we do. It's really easy for guys to get hurt doing stuff. So the flag keeps you from getting run over. To kind of circle back to that, it's one more visual thing. You know, somebody might see you over a berm or something or whatever. Like you might not see the guy, but you see the flag there moving along, and you're like, oh, okay, there's a truck that's about to come around the corner there from behind that sea can or something. You know, it's just one more piece to try to prevent stuff, right? Same with the beacons. You got the, you know, I got a nice bright LED beacon on there. You know, and it's just there, same thing, make people aware that, hey, I'm working, you know, or I'm driving through a site or something. And, you know, a lot of sites, beacons on at all times, sometimes flags up, that kind of stuff, you know. Yeah, it's all just safety, man. A lot of it's safety stuff. Talk about the crane now, or while we're up here?
Yeah, what type of crane is that?
It's an IMT. It's a 5,000 pound crane. It's like electric over hydraulic, so it's a little slow, but I mean, whatever. It's nice to have a crane. I've worked in trucks without cranes, and it sucks because you know, a lot of this stuff is heavy, man. Like, you know, like when you have it, you know, and guys are probably gonna laugh at this when I say this. If you put this on YouTube, and I'll say it straight up. Like, I use my crane to change batteries. I don't care. It's my back, right? Like, you know, it's a tool. It's there to be used. You know, like the big 8D batteries, I think they weigh like, I don't know. They're in an awkward spot a lot of times. You know, I'll use my crane as a second set of hands, and I'll swing a battery up like that, because why would I blow my back out or risk hurting myself to put a battery up to look like a tough guy? You know, the operators can say whatever they want, like, oh, you know, like, well, you can't lift that, don't you go to the gym? Yeah, I don't care, man. I don't, you know, don't go to the gym for that kind of stuff. I don't even go to the gym. This is the gym. But, you know, like I do that stuff. You know, I use the crane because it's there. It's a tool. It's meant to be used as that. And I don't care if it's over 50 pounds a lot of times, and it's in an awkward spot. A lot of times I'll crane it. This guy just said he needs to use a crane for his batteries. What a bitch. I mean, here's my cranes.
You're just a little weenie boy. You got tiny little arms. Why can't you lift your batteries up by hand like a big boy?
Haters gonna hate. I don't know. Whoa! You can't say that. It's a kid's show. A lot of times I even crane just to be an extra set of hands, keep stuff out of the way, whatever, you know, like it's there for a reason. You know, our trucks run around with these cranes on, and I use mine all the time. Like, I don't know, some guys maybe they don't use them as much, or they're a lot stronger than I am. That's fine. I have nothing to prove in that sense, so I use my crane for everything. If I can use it, I'll use it. I pay for this thing, I might as well use it. I don't know what else you want me to say. We get them certified every year. You're supposed to. Not everybody does. It's kind of a gray area because not all the sites require it. I don't need a crane operator license with this crane or anything like that. Anybody can run this crane. There's like a gray area, I think, with like maintenance personnel or something like that. I think, I don't know, don't quote me on anything, please. I really don't know the specifics of that, but I know that like I don't need a license to operate this. I think partly because the size too. If it's under a certain weight capacity, you don't need a license for it. And it's just a stiff boom, or a straight boom, like telescoping crane. It's got 2 extensions. Yeah, 360 rotation on it, so it'll rotate around as many times as you want on this one. Some of the hydraulic ones don't do that because they don't have like a swivel underneath. They just go like all the way around one way, and you got to turn them back. This one will go all the way around, which is kind of nice. So, yeah, I don't know what else. Oh, the spare tire. I got a spare tire. It's a full size, so it's the same as all the ones because I went up a size on my tires to 245s. I got a lot of guys that like on the service truck pages that ask me about that, or like talk about tire sizes, because a lot of us blow through tires like crazy, or used to. But since stepping up to 245/70, I think a 245/70 19.5s, I haven't had a single issue with my tires. I know a lot of guys running the 225s that these trucks come with have a lot of issues with their tires blowing out, you know, prematurely, and, you know, weight issues or whatever, you know. I don't know if maybe they're just too heavy, but I've noticed I haven't had a lot of tire issues since running one size up, you know, and the truck handles great. And I mean, I go in all kinds of places, the bush, not a lot of bush work, but when I do go off, you know, I don't have any issues with flats or anything like that, you know, rarely. And yeah, I keep the full size spare up there for, you know, if I do have any issues. So yeah. And just a side note, the jack isn't really for changing tires, because that probably wouldn't even lift my truck. The jack is for belly pans. I use it for, yeah, like big belly pans a lot of times. I'll use my floor jack if I can get it under there. So I do keep it on there. It's kind of a nice extra set of hands for that kind of stuff. You know, so it doesn't actually even get used for like changing tires or whatever. A floor jack is, it's not like I could jack a machine up with it anyways, but a lot of times these belly pans are really heavy, so you use the floor jack to put them up, you know, or a come along to put them up or something. But it's just nice to keep it on the truck for that reason. And got all my funnels and greasy stuff, gooey, oily things go in a bucket, so I can drain that out every once in a while, and the kind of residual oil starts to build up, I can go and dump it. Something I don't have and I kind of want to build is like a filter drain or something. Like, I mean, when I do a service and all the filters have to drain out into a bucket, they kind of roll around sometimes in the back of your truck. You just throw a lid on it, I guess. But I want to make a little catch can for my, or a catch little basin for my oil recovery tank, so I can kind of just drain filters in there while I'm doing a service, or drain pounds of oil instead of always pulling the hose out. I don't know, little things like that. A lot of us that run the truck are always trying to find ways to make things more efficient, you know, find easier ways to do the job, because you know, like, the job's hard enough already. Why make it harder? If you can find little things that make your day easier, then why not, you know? Yeah. It turns out the truck video ended up way longer. So click here, click here, click here. You can even click here.